Afternoon, Colonel. Having high tea, I see. Is the jury still out, swatting with flies and wrestling with justice in that order? I'd hate to see the jury filing in, won't you, Colonel? Oh, I'm going to miss this town, especially this courthouse. A mixture of Moorish and Methodist. Must have been designed by a congressman.
What's going to happen, Mr. Drummond?
What do you think's gonna happen, Bert?
Do you think they'll send me to prison?
Oh, they could.
They don't ever let you see anybody from the outside, do they? I mean, you can just talk to a visitor through a window, the way they show in the movies.
No, it's not as bad as all that. When they started this fire, they didn't think it was gonna light up the whole sky. Some people's shoes are mighty hot, but you can never be too sure.
He seems so sure. He seems to know what the verdict's going to be.
Oh, nobody knows. When you've been a lawyer as long as I have, maybe a million years or so, you get a pretty good idea what's happening. Anyway, it's one of those things in which you really lose your lines and then you haven't got a clue where you are. Hey, well, you know, I can smell sometimes what a jury is thinking.
Well, what are they thinking now?
Oh, you know, one of these days, I'm going to get me an easy case. An open and shut case. I've got a friend up in Chicago, big lawyer. How the money does roll in. You know why? Because he never takes a case that isn't a sure thing. It's just like a jockey that won't go into a race unless he's riding the favorites.
Well, you sure picked the long shot this time, Mr. Drummond.
I think this is the right place to put it. If that's all right with you, Your Honor.
There's no precedent for this sort of thing.
Well, we're making history here, Your Honor. You understand? This is the first time that a public event has ever been broadcast.
Well, I'll allow it, provided you don't interfere with the business of this court.
Merle, gotta talk to you over here. This wire just came. It's from the boys in the city. They're worried about how things are going. Newspapers all over are raising such a hullabaloo. After all, November ain't too far off. It ain't gonna do any of us any good to get any of the voters all steamed up. So, go easy, Merle.
Testing, testing.
What is that thing?
Oh, it's an enunciator.
You going to broadcast?
Yeah. We have a direct wire to a WGN in Chicago. Soon as the jury comes back in, we'll announce the verdict.
Radio. God, that's going to break down a bunch of walls.
Oh, you're not supposed to say God on the radio.
Why the hell not?
You're not supposed to say hell either.
Well, that's going to be a barren source of amusement.
Can one speak into either side of this machine?
Yes, either side, sir.
Could you please signal me while I am speaking to let me know if my voice carries enough projection for this radio apparatus?
Everybody rise! Hear ye, hear ye. Court will reconvene in the case of the state versus Bertram Cates.
Well, what do you think? Can you tell them their faces?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mary Estabrooks coming to you from the courthouse in Hillsborough, where the jury is just returning to render its verdict in the famous Hillsborough monkey trial case. The judge has just taken his seat, and in a few minutes we will know whether Bertram Cates will be found innocent or guilty.
Gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a decision?
We have, Your Honor.
jury's decision is unanimous. Bertram Cates, you have been found guilty as charged.
Step right up and get your tickets to the Middle Ages. And you only thought you missed the coronation of Charlemagne.
Quiet, please. We'll have order in this court and it's still in session.
He's guilty. He's guilty, Justice.
The prisoner will rise to hear the sentence of this court. Bertram Cates, this court hereby sentences you...
Point of procedure, Your Honor.
Well, sir?
Isn't it customary in this state to allow the defendant to make a statement before a sentence is passed?
Well, I regret this amendment, omission, Colonel Drum. In the confusion and Mr. Cates, if you wish to make a statement at this time, please feel free to do so.
Your Honor, I'm not a public speaker. I do not have the eloquence of some of the people you've heard in the last few days. I'm just a school teacher.
Not anymore, you ain't.
I was a school teacher. I feel I've been convicted of violating an unjust law. I will continue in the future, as I have in the past, to oppose this law in any way I can. I feel...
Bertram Cates, this court has found you guilty of violating Public Act 37, statute number 31428 as charged. But since there has been no previous violation of this statute, there is no precedent to guide the bench in handing down the sentence. Therefore, this court finds it proper that you, Bertram Cates, be sentenced to pay a fine of $100.
Did Your Honor say $100?
That is correct. And this concludes the business of this trial.
Your Honor, the prosecution takes exception. When the issues are so titanic, then the court must meet around for drastic
Objection!
to make an example of the...
Just a minute. The amount of the fine is of no concern to me. Bertram Cates has no intention of paying this or any other fine. We intend to appeal this decision to the Supreme Court of this state. Your Honor, will the court grant us 30 days to prepare the appeal?
Granted, this court fixes bond at $500, and I believe that this concludes the business of this trial. This court is adjourned.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I would like to read a few short remarks that I have
I
prepared.
object to that. Colonel Brady can make any remarks he wishes to, long, short, or otherwise, in a Chautauqua tent. Our business in Hillsborough is complete. I ask the court, the defense requests that the trial be adjourned.
Court shall be adjourned.
But, Your Honor, I have a few short remarks.
And we are all anxious to hear them, Mr. Brady. But Mr. Drummond's point is very well taken. I'm sure that everyone here would like to remain after the court is adjourned to hear all of your remarks in your address. I hereby declare this court adjourned, sine die.
Which side won? Not sure, but the whole game's over.
Eskimo pies! Get your Eskimo pies!
Right, hold in the... I need your attention, please. Now, Colonel Brady has given us the honor of hearing his address, and I'm sure that it will interest us all.